the people who live in this country are extremely resilient, especially the Indians. We've even printed out some contracts to be signed today for you guys. So.
Dubai's culture.
They have a barbecue fish restaurant there, it's really good. Barbecue fish. You want to go?
And you have a major infrastructure that's
Nitesh, this is my money. What are you buying? 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, townhouse today?
Townhouse or villa, definitely.
We're here today discussing how the conflict escalation in the Middle East have affected UAE globally and particularly in real estate segment. I'm Daria, the rug girl. Ryan is here and Nitesh. Would you like guys to introduce yourself?
Really great to be here with both of you today as well. Thank you so much. My name is Ryan Singh, on Instagram Ryan Singh UAE, and I've been here in Dubai for over 4 years now. It's been an incredible journey so far. Many highs, many lows, and it's really great to work with Paragon Properties as well.
Well, I'm Nitesh. I've been here for the last 6 years. I come from Spain.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have we spoken about this before?
No.
Well, just like you don't remember my number.
It's a surprise.
She never saves my number. Every time I call her, I'm Nitesh from Paragon. Okay. Hi.
I've seen recently you started doing more videos in Spanish as well, which is really good.
Yeah. That's true.
Wow,
I've been focusing a lot on my Spanish clientele. Not only Spanish from Spain, but also Latin people, South America. We do connect a lot in terms of the culture, what are their needs, what are their investment strategies. That's what I try to focus on a lot. And I've been in the industry for 4.5, almost 5 years now. Started with secondary to gain that knowledge, and off-plan obviously doing Dubai, a bit of Abu Dhabi. Ras Al Khaimah is my main focus always.
Brilliant.
I've invested there myself. It's been a great journey. This conflict has changed a bit the perspective. It's the first time I'm seeing this dip. Because when I entered, it was just the rise from COVID, and it's interesting how the market sentiment is resilient. Correct? What do you think of how people are reacting? How sellers? We will talk about the buyers later, but how sellers are not entering in the panic. Mostly is what I've seen.
As long as we have a competition on who has been here for how many years, I'll finish with the brief introduction. So basically, I'm here since 17 years now. 2 in UAE, 2 of each I spent in Ras Al Khaimah when I decided to move from Dubai to Ras Al Khaimah 2 years ago. So basically, I've been here throughout the 2 crises. I've been here during COVID, during the lockdown, and I've been here throughout all the time of the escalation itself, from the first day when it happened, from the first day when we received the news that something is in the airspace. Basically, that was the first time it happened to this country. Nobody could predict it, especially not to this extent, right? So I don't know where we should start, how we should go, but I would just like to ask everyone, what have you thought when it happened, the exact moment when we realized that something is going on in our country, where we live, where we work? What was your first thought or feeling? Did you panic?
As an individual, it comes really down to what you're like under pressure, I would say. And if you've got kids, you've got a family, your mindset is different. If you're bachelor, single like me, it's a little bit different. If you're with elderly people, very different situation as well. So, for what I found is there were a lot of kind of knee-jerk movements of people moving around, didn't know what to do. It was the first time that they ever saw something like this in the region. And there was a lot of uncertainty, and there still is a lot of uncertainty. And we did see a lot of people, leave Dubai, move out of the UAE, but when they realized when they realized how secure it was here, it's a bit of a different conversation. So naturally, people would be scared. One side of one side of the society will be scared, the other side is very confident. Luckily, where I live, there were a lot of really good protocols in place.
Where do you live?
I live in downtown in the Address, now known as Kempinski Boulevard. So there were a lot of talks about attacks happening in that area. I won't go into too much detail about the kind of intricacies of it, but I was next to DIFC, and as you can imagine, it's quite volatile around this area. So, as personally, I was very calm and relaxed because I'm very good under pressure. And unfortunately, other people were in a bit of a different situation. But it's great at this time now, when we've analysed what's been happening over the last few months, to see a lot more confidence and resilience coming back into the marketplace, from business point of view, from F&B point of view, kids coming back to school as well. And it shows you a lot about the type of behaviour and the type of confidence that people have to set that have set their lives up in this country. So, yeah, it's been a challenging time, but always optimistic for sure.
What I agree is when the first shock wave came, everyone started immediately booking flights, and a lot of people left, but then the same people started coming back.
Yes.
And the major issue, what you just mentioned, that people didn't just abandon pets, it's a huge problem now, that everyone who left, they didn't care about paperwork, they didn't care about taking everyone. They even abandoned parents. There were cases where people would leave two elderly, where a family would leave two elderly people at home with no cash or no food supply and just fly out. And that's not just one particular case. So I think majority of people who come and reside and work in this country, they've been through much worse back in their home. Not all of us, but a lot of Middle Eastern countries and we as Russians and some European countries have seen a war and have lived throughout the conflict with much worse consequences and much worse situation when literally it would be a war status, like no food in the supermarket, no food in the shops, nothing, absolutely no hospitals, no safety, no opportunity to cross, to travel, to escape. So what happened here was quite astonishing for me, because I saw from the day one how it was handled. And I would like to just go there. We'll just finish with sure. What's in it for you?
So I clearly remember it was Saturday morning, afternoon, more or less. I was in the office itself in a shoot, and as a first reaction, as soon as we heard the videographer, he recently became a father. He had a newborn at home, so obviously he entered in a much more panic situation than I was in. I live with my family as well, but it's a more mature family. I feel regardless of any kind of family or bachelor or couple that you live with, everyone, it's a common reaction to enter in a panic situation at first, until you understand the situation, until you understand what actually happened and how it's been handled. I think in a day or two we understood that we're not active in this situation. We're just caught in the middle of two other countries, and the way they handled it from the beginning, it's been remarkable. If this was any other country, as Daria was mentioning, healthcare wouldn't be as accessible, flights wouldn't be as accessible. The roads were completely normal. There were no people running around the city. If we see in other countries, situations get much, much worse, even in a smaller situation like this.
I think first impression was quite striking, but because there was a misunderstanding and some rumors were circulating in social media, and there were some fake videos as well. But then when it was explained to us that actually the sounds that you hear are the sounds of interceptions, and because people were started talking about bombs or something, and you can imagine when someone comes from a war background, who have witnessed war, who had war, so what they would think, that someone is attacking And people couldn't also understand that all this time UAE was only defending itself. UAE has not attacked. It was only responding. What I'm saying is that it was not responding back to the attacks, but it was only protecting itself. So once it was explained, and once everyone started realizing that, nobody asks us to leave. It's like a personal choice whether you want to stay or you want to go somewhere. I think everything calmed down. But here comes the very important question. Now, a couple of months after, we are looking at our city. We are driving every day to the same places, like to your gym, to a mall. What have you noticed that significantly changed? Amount of people, traffic, what you can notice the most that has changed?
Yeah, definitely. Look, being in that area around the city and where it's the kind of hub of Dubai, the heart of Dubai, you could say, I see volume change in terms of footfall, how many cars there are on the road. Weekends are always pretty busy. I'll be 100% real with you. It is quieter than it has been before, but it's starting to pick up again, which is a great sign. And it's a great, again, a lot of confidence from the government that they'll always try and incentivize people to come back into the UAE. And we've seen that recently with some incentives like the 3,000 dirham that you get from the government if you invite friends and family, if you've got a registered Emirates ID. We're seeing a lot of offers from Emirates and
Can
things
you explain
like this.
that, by the way? I wanted to understand what this 3,000 dirham is. As I understand, it's not cash, right? It's something that can be redeemed on
comes
something.
in as in vouchers of certain hotels, certain restaurants, certain malls, vouchers that you get, which comes in really handy because people come to the UAE to have a life. People come here to be able to live the luxury, but not always it's affordable. So this, I really think this is a small incentive
To attract.
to attract that. Honestly, it's not small because if you see the number of people that will use it, for an individual, 3,000 dirham might not be as much. But if you see from the government's perspective, even if there are only 1,000 people, I'm not going to tell you many numbers, but even if there are only 1,000 people, it's 300,000 dirhams that the government is giving, incentivizing to support the country and its local businesses. If you see so many hotels, so many restaurants, so many shisha bars in this city, they've been doing great. The local people here, they've been supporting each other, which is something I see as a positive sign that, okay, not everyone has just run away as other countries' media are saying that, the entire city has been evacuated. I actually got calls from my cousins from different countries saying,
Are you okay? Yes. Yes, I got the same.
like are you evacuating as well? And I was like, why would I evacuate? I'm sitting in my house, sitting normally. No, they evacuated this building, that building, this area, that area. And I can see that. I live in DFC myself. I can see that building from my...
But when you're talking about evacuation, did they literally evacuate anyone? No.
Not that I saw. And I can literally see the entire downtown from my...
Only when there was debris falling on some building, let's say, it caught fire, that's when they evacuate the building.
Yeah, they had protocol.
And that took for a while, not a permanent evacuation.
Yeah, it's important to clarify.
And I would say that it's very segment specific as well to where you're looking at. You know, when you look at people who have got lives, families, go to school here, they've got a different intention of living in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Ras Al Khaimah. When you've got people who are high net worth, ultra high net worth, they've got the ability and movement to move between different jurisdictions. So we have seen a lot of them move around to other jurisdictions. But the great thing again is that it's starting to come back, and it will always come back. When we've all experienced the lifestyle that is offered here, it's very different to other places. So again, we're at a kind of crossroad now. All of us have closed a few deals over the last couple of weeks, and we're seeing that the demand is starting to increase again. So, yeah.
What I'm enjoying now, honestly, is the rates for the hotels, the offers, and You know that there are people who are coming here as tourists, even they started coming once they understood that UAE is protecting its dome. People actually started coming as tourists in spite that there was 55 days of ceasefire because nothing stopped. All the malls were open, new shops are opening, new restaurants are opening everywhere. I know a couple of businesses had to, not even couple, I mean a lot of businesses had to restructure somehow. Either there are a lot of hotels who are now on renovation, let's say, but we're also in summer. Like, don't forget that all of this happened in March, so now we are approaching the summer season, which is not active on the first place in UAE. A lot of people just try to stay out and they can do whatever they need to do online and remotely, right? Because there is no oxygen. So
It depends where you live, isn't it, and what you do. But
I think this point that you said about restructuring the business is very important for us as well, and not only us, all the agencies, all the agents, brokers, even master brokers as well. Most of them have played it in a way where we have to adapt to the actual situation. I mean, for example, Ryan and me used to 90% focus on off-plan. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And now we still have a major focus there, but at the same time, we do focus on where the market is going at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is in the actual sales, rentals, whatever is transacting most.
I would love to talk about this with you. I would love to start talk about segments. Let's start with off-plan and then go to every single segment of real estate to check how it was affected. Remember that joke when the client is calling the agent and if a missile drops on the land of my property, will it help with the excavation? Will the project be handed over faster or it will actually delay the project? Yeah.
At least it will help with some of the piling work and actually digging up the ground.
So, guys, what happened to off-plan? You sell off-plan the most. I mean, we all sell off-plan, but let's say I'm focused more on the Ras Al Khaimah side. I'm not like super active in Dubai off-plan now. So what have you noticed? What significantly changed?
Yeah, off-plan still makes up over 65-70% of the overall market volume. We've started to see different developers adapt in different ways. Some have reshaped and restructured how their whole marketing is, what kind of incentives they'll give to people, what kind of timeframes that they're looking at, and capital deployment throughout its life cycle. It's great again to see that the larger developers, the tier one developers, have held very firm on their pricing. They've been lenient with other topics that we can go into detail, but they need to ensure that the investors are safe. But then on the flip side, we're seeing in the secondary off-plan market a lot of deals that are in phase one original price, lower than phase one original price, because that part of the market is mainly, it's investors, right? They've got time, they've got capital that they're deployed. And to be real, there's an opportunity cost now because there's a bit of a time delay where there could be 12, 18 months before we start to see that kind of upswing again in this segment. So can I put that in stock? Can I put that in ETF, bond, crypto, whatever it might be? I could even move that capital back to my own country and get a pretty good FX spread there. So everyone has a different risk and profile. And that's the beauty of real estate, right? We're able to see how many people are operating and who flinches at the first time, who's confident, who's aware of what's going on in the market, who's experienced in terms of in other real estate markets globally as well. So when there's winners, there's losers. And it's as simple as that. And we've seen a lot of people who have won significantly, especially in the luxury, ultra luxury segment where they've made already 100, 200, even 300% on their capital that they brought out in the last 3, 4, 5 years.
And this was not affected by...
For them, they don't mind now taking a hit of 30%.
Okay.
They don't mind because their margin is still there.
Yeah.
They're very comfortable. Whereas let's look on the subprime, 1 to 5 mil, 1 to 10 million dirham. There's a lot more movement. There's a lot more volume. there's a lot of confidence as well. Some of the most recent launches, Imtiaz, Daria, they're selling out. They're over 1,000.
It was sold out at the launch itself.
1,000. So it's showing us that a lot of individuals are isolating themselves for the fluctuations in the next few years that might come from interest rate or might come from cost of materials or supply chain issues. So to see how the developers are operating who have these large amounts of capital is a good indicator on who will be successful in the next 3 to 5 years for sure.
Let's talk about incentives that you came across. Again, since this event started in March, and the downside of it, like what have you seen that have changed, probably not in a favor of existing owner? So what I noticed is guaranteed ROI is back. Last time I saw it was more than 3 years ago, when developers would offer you 7% or 8% even for 2-3 years. I started seeing that, as well as adjustment to the payment plan. Like, let's say it's a government-backed developer, they are strong, construction is ongoing, they still have stock. So in order to move stock now faster, instead of 50-50 payment plan, they introduced 30-70, but only for bigger units, like 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, So that's what I've seen in both Ras Al Khaimah and Dubai. And I would love to hear from you, what do you think is what do you think is creatively new that happened in the market from certain developers?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying before, right? Not only the brokerages or the brokers, but also the master agencies and developers as well. They've changed their strategies. By doing that, they're trying to keep the flow of the transactions at the same or at least similar pace, which is also helping the investors who are taking the units, who are doing the bookings in this moment, right? It's not a bad market. It's just an opportunistic market. Is what I feel. As you mentioned,
very selective market as well.
Exactly. As you mentioned, there are certain developers giving the guaranteed ROIs. There are certain developers being more lenient on the payment plans. Certain developers trying to incentivize by giving some DLD half discount or
ADM waiver 2%, 4% DLD waiver.
Different strategies for different developers, whatever is working more in both sides' favors. I've said this one line since I joined real estate. Even when I was in secondary, I always believe in this. The best deal is where not one, not two, and not all 3 parties. Because we are one party involved in the deal as well, regardless secondary or off plan. The best deal is where all 3 parties are slightly unhappy, is where everyone gets the best out of it. And that's the win-win-win situation. So the buyer has the payments to be made, has to give the commitments. The developer or the seller in this case is doing certain changes in his payment plan or in his DLD fees and stuff. And we as well, we have been working, we have been putting our efforts, gaining the knowledge before putting in the efforts, and educating the buyer properly. I don't promote all the developers.
100%.
There are certain developers who will also give you a 30 or 40% discount if you're making 100% upfront payment.
Do you think it's a red flag, actually? Or it shows that, developer is so flexible that they are ready to give such a big discount just
Definitely
to take the
red
cash?
flag. Definitely a red flag.
It's one of the biggest red flags.
It's great that we all align on that basis that we should be very selective on how we consult and advise our clients, because that's really what it is. Back to the same thing, there's been many winners in this market, and there's been many losers in this market, hence why we're seeing a lot of stock that starts appearing on the portals. And definitely we have seen that, because the inquiries that are coming in are speaking to a lot of different people and actually getting confused when there's X amount of units available at one given time. So that's a bit of a different conversation. But we should be very selective in how we approach this situation, because it's our reputation as well. And we live in an environment where there's so many shiny objects. It's easy to, promote a concept or an idea or a payment plan or entertainment district. You probably know what I'm on about. But the reality of it is that the fundamentals should be at the forefront of the investment decision or the home buyer's decision. And there's so much information overload sometimes that it can confuse people. And you start to see that this is a longer term relationship for sure. So from a brokerage point of view and from a broker point of view, it puts us in a very strong position that we're honest and transparent about how we suggest and how we advise. Yeah. And we can realize these green and red flags as well. Yeah.
I believe that was always in off-plan market and even before these events, and it was always very confusing. Clients used to ask a lot of questions. Now, there is more questions to it. I mean, have you noticed that everyone became more selective, or because of these incentives that are introduced by developers, there is more demand and people look more ready now because they realize that the time of uncertainty actually creates great opportunities. So let's say they were not acting before, but now they're ready to act. So what have you noticed personally from your network of clients who you've been working with?
I see, other than the change of ways to see which development each buyer, depending on the strategy as well, right? What they can have accessibility to. I believe as you said, they're being more selective because now they have the kind of, I wouldn't say the upper hand, but they have more power because they have more cash to put in at the moment. And
do you think they negotiate harder? I mean, people now buyers who have cash, what I noticed, they put ridiculously blunt offers because they believe, okay,
40%
I have cash,
less, 30% less.
And what's more surprising, deals are happening and actually they achieve what they desire.
You've got to remember
for us, because honestly, if like say certain property has certain value, there is market value, there is marketed price, there is actual transacting price. When you receive ridiculously low offer for something that you know is worth that much, I'm still taking it very personally. They say, no, it's just business. No, I'm taking it as a personal insult. I'm very protective for my sellers' assets, and I often just want to, just to block this person. Because, I mean, come on, you can't be serious if you're offering that much. But what I've noticed that we're actually able to close, and those clients, maybe not through us, but through someone else, will eventually find someone who would accept that much.
Yeah.
And that breaks my heart, to be honest. But what I believe is that distresses are indicator of a healthy market. And there were distresses before March. Even in December, you could find something trading significantly below the market for different reasons, because the person needs liquidity, because there is relocation, because there is personal issues in his life. So definitely, if a project has 2,000 units, you will find 10 people who would be very motivated to sell, and they would be ready to significantly reduce the price, and that's why these units move overnight. Now, the question is that what happened in terms of how long does it take to convert? If before the lead came in, you've been working on a client, you would, find for him certain area, certain unit, everything was going smoothly, his funds are ready, go ahead. Now, what are you personally struggling with, or what you noticed is different in behavior of those clients?
I was talking to an old friend this morning. I used to work with him before, and he said one thing, Nitesh: buyers are coming in thinking it's the market of 2008. Sellers are still coming in, or sellers are still in the market thinking it's 2021. And that's where the difference is. Sellers are being resilient. Buyers are trying to have the maximum opportunity as possible. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many opportunities in the market. There are many of them. But if we see a bit of the numbers, vaguely, I'm not going to talk in detailed numbers, but if there are around 800,000 units which are ready in Dubai, apartments, townhouses, villas, mansions in the ready secondary market, out of which, how many, from your experience, more or less, how many you must have seen that there are actual distressed price or actual lower price? How many do you think?
Less than 10%?
10% is 80,000 units that we're talking about.
I actually...
Do you actually think there are 80,000 units
even
in the
less
market?
than that, maybe less than 5% then?
That's
Off market and on market.
Yes. So that's what I'm getting at. If there's a move in 5 to 10% of all the investors in this emirate, 5% of them have moved, is it actually a market that is going down?
It's more of a softening period, a cooling
It is
period.
softening, and I believe also this was important. This was important for more investors to be able to come in and benefit from the emirate and its vision and everything, right? But it's not a market where everyone is running out, everyone is leaving this country, everyone is out of money, everyone is craving to just sell their property at whatever price. And that's where most of the buyers are coming in, wanting that
Exceptional opportunities.
That unicorn. I mean, I know many buyers take it in the wrong way, but we don't have unicorns in this country. We don't have unicorns in the world. So you can't expect a thing that was sold at 2 million, got valued recently around 3.5, 4 million even, to get it at 1 million.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? Have you faced these buyers?
I mean, luckily, the offers I received, they're just so low, but at least they have positive balance, because imagine if someone bought something and paid only 20 or 30% to developer, and then he receives an offer 50% below P. So technically that would mean that the seller will have to pay you to transfer the ownership. So guys, make offers upon understanding what are you just do your maths, And of course, the seller has to walk out with something, and he has to be comfortable. And that's why very important thing also to talk about safety. What guarantees do owners get from developers once they buy property? In terms of situations like this, what I wanted also to ask is pushing handover date by 1 year or 9 months. Is it a red flag, or is it a good thing to do if it comes from a reliable developer, government-backed developer? So basically, they know what they're doing. But often it creates resistance, and it creates owners upset because they wanted to align the handover with Wynn Casino opening, let's say, or with certain year, and then they receive the news that, okay, you don't need to pay for the next 6 months, but we're going to postpone the handover by 1 year, which developer has the right to do, and they want to exit because it doesn't align with their goals anymore. So what safety, what security do buyers get when they invest in this country, when they buy off plan in this country?
I wouldn't say it's a big red flag. Obviously, it's not the best news to be received when you have certain strategies. And I truly believe in this strategy. Each investor has different mindset, why he invested or why he bought that property. Is it for himself? Is it for short-term investment? Is it for him to sell it near the handover? Many strategies in the market that people use, right? Now, having delays in the handover could be a red flag, but also if you see the sentiment in the market, it could also mean a very good green flag. Not everyone is as comfortable in the cash flow at the moment, and if they're getting an extra 6 months or 9 months to make the payment, maybe that's better for them.
There is another thing. A lot of developers are waiving penalties now. Not all, but a lot. So they try to be more understanding.
I've seen the waiving of penalties where construction is not at the same stage as they promised. Right. So there are certain developers who are not waiving the penalties, who are still doing their construction on time. But then there are certain developers who are being a bit more lenient because they themselves know that they have caused slight delay as well.
or there's some supply chain issue or something like this.
Exactly. It's not that they're delaying because they don't want to construct it, but they're delaying because of certain materials that they're not being able to get because of the conflict.
And that's really what real estate is. There's so many different variables involved in making a deal, not just the signing, the sourcing and the acquisition of the deal, but the signing, everything that comes after it. And this is often overlooked as well. Again, in this city that's of flashing lights and shiny objects, that's just the start of the process.
Right.
When that paper is signed, because the amount of due diligence that has to be done after that to protect the client and to negotiate with the developer and to ensure that everything's done with the top level of confidence and security is also the broker and the brokerage's responsibility as well. And again, it's easy to make quick commissions and quick wins and quick money, but it's our reputation on the line. A really good indicator that I've started to see is definitely with the government in Abu Dhabi. Obviously, they're the most powerful and largest government in the whole of the UAE. They own a huge amount of land banks, Al Dar, Modon, for example. How the government is operated is like an investment firm. Obviously, they have ADQ, Mubadala, different investment arms where they're diversified into different types of industries, real estate, oil and gas.
I just wanted to ask you to tell more about it, because this country doesn't run on real estate. So please, can you explain us what is here today, especially since the escalation of this conflict, that runs this country? Where is the money from, and why we are not looking at any collapse or any potential crisis soon? Yeah,
and it's a really good point. The fact that this government is, a tier one family government that mainly operates how this country works and how the Gulf works and how they liaise with each other. Obviously, this geopolitical tension has caused a bit of friction between a lot of them, but they have got their heads screwed on. They know exactly what they're doing. And what we've seen over the last few months is a lot of diversification from the government of Abu Dhabi, some of their sovereign wealth funds. They're attracting a lot more capital to come back into DIFC. Recently, we saw a new opening of Blackstone. People like Larry Fink are obviously looking into this region as well. And then we look at ADGM. They're taking on a lot more applications. A lot of my clients, mainly that I deal with, are from institutional type backgrounds, private equity, finance, legal. And I've felt that they have been very hesitant at the start of this when everything did kick off. It's only now that we're having conversations about where we're looking to put the capital strategically. And a big segment is definitely towards land. Yeah. Land is where the value is. That's where you can create as much BUA as you want, 70, 80%, whatever. But that's where the real generational type of wealth and margins are made. And we've seen that time and time again throughout Dubai in Jebel Ali Hills. We've seen land in areas like Shoba Heartland, District 1. There's other places in Meydan across the board.
Have you noticed there is more demand for land now?
There is, and even if you look at the Dubai 2030, 2040 urban master plan, you see that a lot of the Zone 2 areas are pretty much brought up by big developers already, hence why we're seeing movement of capital towards Abu Dhabi and Dubai. But again, really great from the government of Abu Dhabi that they've been able to incentivize rental rates. They've frozen the actual rental rates, so owners cannot increase it for a fixed period of time, which is really, really great.
Cut that. Huh? My landlord just increased mine.
No, in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Yeah, in Abu Dhabi.
Move to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. So ADREC and Abu Dhabi government there have been able to freeze rents to stop the movement and fluctuation of rental prices and people moving in and people moving out. Because what we've seen there, for example, is supply is a lot more constrained. It's a lot more targeted and delivered in a certain way. So that's really interesting to see what the government's doing there.
And coming back to the question of what else is feeding Dubai other than real estate, right? There is so many. Real estate just started in 2008, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like
the off-plan, you mean?
Like actual transactions, foreigners, investors before there used to be more local investors, right? Or GCC.
Well, it was
national.
GCC. And
GCC.
even in Abu Dhabi, again, it's mainly GCC. Yeah.
But then what has made Dubai is not only real estate. There's so many other factors in Dubai. Trade is the biggest factor. We've been one of the biggest port. Jebel Ali has been one of the biggest port in the world for I don't know how many decades now. We have oil and gas. We have metals. There are so many other things that keep Dubai going.
Tourism, telecommunication.
Tourism is. I still believe tourism is the major factor.
Over 40% of GDP now.
Exactly, and all this is still keeping on going. This country and it's like having 4 or 5 pillars. If one is not as strong, the other ones are supporting the not so strong pillar, right? And I can talk about trade, for example. My family has been in that business for a couple of years here now, and we're into food business, food imports and exports. Obviously, it has been slightly hit because of the Strait not being so active. But then UAE also found another way to it. There are road transports which take you to another port for a quicker transfer. There are road transfers to other country which then help you load your materials in the containers and stuff. So they are already prepared before the question comes in. So other than that, there's also this pipeline that was created way before any of this conflict started. It was created from Dubai till Fujairah, if I'm not mistaken, for all the oil and gas and petrol to be transported. So Dubai has been, I wouldn't say it's been one step ahead. UAE, it hasn't been one step ahead. It's actually been 4-5 steps ahead in planning. So when any of this conflict comes, that's how they can manage any of the situations that we could arise on. Now, said that, it's not everything is green, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong. They were never planning to participate in it. They were just dragged into it.
There's a bigger picture behind this. And if you remember a few months ago when Trump actually came to the Gulf, he was invited with open arms, and he was able to go to all of the different emirates and work out deals with them, both with his son as well. And we're seeing a few emerging trends across the world, which is obviously digitalization of cryptocurrencies and blockchain and data centers. And more recently, we've seen meetings in Far East with a lot of top guys. Again,
I think you can pay your Emirates ticket now with crypto.
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
I mean, you've seen people like Jensen Huang, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Larry Fink, top guys who are really pushing the economy of the US, starting to have more conversations with Asia. And the Gulf is this kind of bit turbulent region where there's a significant amount of capital that is in this area, and they're aware of that, and they want to obviously collaborate. And the government here knows that the US is an extremely powerful government as well, so they're actually trying to join with them. And for Iran, I'm not a politics expert, but I'm pretty clued onto what's going on and understand. We're seeing that Iran is behind 20, 30, 40 years with their regime that's going on. So the change is coming towards working with the US and implementing systems and technologies here. As we've seen, a lot of the defense systems are from the US. That's another type of game in itself. So it's all a circular flow of income, really, when we understand on a bigger level why and how real estate is, why and how real estate acts the way it does, and how it's impacted, and how other asset classes are also impacted. But now that we're seeing big investment firms starting to put capital back into the region again, it's a great sign. Back to your point about 2008, 2014, the country was at a very different point in its life cycle then. And now we're seeing a huge integration with AI, and areas like, for example, DIFC 2.0 is going to be the hub of AI and learning and machine learning and artificial intelligence.
And none of this stopped. See, since the escalation of the conflict and since March, none of these programs were cancelled. In fact, there are contracts being signed, and there are more and more things coming in Ras Al Khaimah as well as Dubai, as well as Abu Dhabi. So all of this continue happening and implementing. So none of it got cancelled because of some political issues.
Exactly that. The people who live in this country are extremely resilient, especially the Indians. Because I tell you one thing now, they are the backbone of this country.
That's
what
true,
we see around us today, again, just a massive thank you to the people who work here. And
it's not number one nationality.
Yeah, who operate here, who work here, who keep this society running, because none of this around us would be possible without them, and huge respect for sure. If a bomb goes off next door to Indian person, they really don't care. They will still buy the property. They will still move first. They will still take action. And actually, I agree with that 100%, because that's how we get things done.
I agree with you. Indians always buy, either investment or self-use or whatever, because that's something traditional in your culture, that property has to be passed as a legacy, or you have to buy a property, like you have to marry, and then Indian parents always push you to marry and then to push you to buy property and take mortgage and have your own house, and it's more like traditional thing. I think.
We've even printed out some contracts to be signed today for you guys. So. But besides that, it shows you that Europeans operate in a certain way, Indians operate in a certain way, Russians, Ukrainians, very resilient people. They've become a lot more, I would say, comfortable in the UAE. Before, I'd had a bit of difficulty with Russians and Ukrainian people. I thought they were quite cold. But now I've got many Russian friends, and they invite me to Uzbeki restaurant and this place, and it's really great culture. They're great people. They look after themselves. They're into wellness, and it's a real pleasure to learn more about that culture. So just like COVID was before, where humans are social creatures and we want to go out and speak to people and share experiences, and that's where the new opportunity will come from, where we'll see that there's many new avenues to explore. And that's where my focus is. For example, now moving towards wellness-focused residences. We're seeing an increase of them coming into the region. A lot of people have disposable income. They want to be part of, a society where their kids have great quality of life. They have great quality of life. They have stem cell therapy. They have wellness, nannies, doctors, nutritionists. Living in a branded residence as well, that's a fundamental part of who I am and my identity. And the fact that we're seeing developers start to understand that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, already in Miami, already in places like London. We're seeing a lot of gentrification of real estate there. Obviously, a lot of it's quite old, 1900s, 1800s. Big firms are coming in and creating these new wellness-themed types of residences. So there's a lot of great brands operating here now, and I really believe
a significant chunk of people who are planning to relocate here because they've seen how this country handled the conflict, and because still, don't forget, we don't have tax here. So if it's a lifetime savings or a retirement home, I work with a lot of clients now who are actually buying themselves, and they are from UK and from Germany and US and other European countries, I would say. And they are buying first time in their life. They haven't purchased anything back home, and now it's the time, and they trust this country to be the place.
And this is in RAK?
No, I mean in general, They're looking at RAK because of the price point probably, and because it's waterfront. Like you can buy a villa at a very good price point. It would be waterfront. It would be next to...
What are we talking there for something in RAK?
Yeah, that's something particular in RAK, but at the same price point, they can enter in Dubai as well. They can get themselves something in the Mark Hills 2, or other gated community.
It wouldn't be waterfront, right?
But it wouldn't be waterfront.
It depends what you class as waterfront.
I didn't say that Alhambra, what you're talking about a couple of months ago. We actually visited together, with my buyer, and
it's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place.
It's quite relaxing, isn't it?
It's completely different. Obviously, what you can see more here something similar, waterfront or near a golf course, is more of apartments.
Yeah, I think Dubai
Islands has a lot of
Palmdera. I think Palmdera is
called
amazing.
Palmdera,
Yeah, it's an amazing place in terms of price per square foot. The only thing I'm worried about, how are they going to handle that traffic?
Yeah.
You know?
There are certain bridges being built across.
Because
right?
there is
There's
busy area
there's
already,
one,
and that's a big project.
Also, the entire part of that town is going under redevelopment.
100%.
There are so many office buildings, older buildings that are going through redevelopment. They're demolishing it, making new. They're shifting areas. For example, Gold Souk now.
Yeah. The new Gold Souk is there as well.
The new Gold Souk is there, and it's pretty famous already. Not only that, government to push it is actually making that. You must have read the article a couple of months ago of one entire street being of pure gold. That's happening in New Gold Souk.
Wow.
Imagine, it's almost a kilometer long of pathway of
Gold coated.
Actual gold. It's not only gold coated. It's actual gold that will be on the floor and the street lamps and everything. So it says it's part of. I understand the area is too overcrowded or too busy already for more development to come there. But then they're also managing it in a way where everyone is still able to enjoy all the parts of it.
Yeah, looking at it from this perspective as well, is that what we see is that there's history in this area. And if we look at other real estate markets as well, we see that where there's history in an area, that's where culture starts to emerge from it as well. And this is what's starting to happen throughout Dubai in different areas. And I'll give you an example of that as well. Like, I lived in Daria for 1 year when I wasn't making enough money before. Things were difficult, but...
Before address.
Yeah, before address, yeah. Massive change, massive...
Slumdog.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. But you know what? I enjoyed it because they're people who are honest and they work hard, and, you know, you make the best out of that situation, and, you know, you see a lot of different things. But a lot of the old money in Dubai comes from that area.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because there's, you know, one of my clients, I won't say who it is for security reasons, but he's got an office just in near the Gold Souk in the Emirates MBD Tower. And that's where a lot of the old school guys are operating. There's an Imar building there. I'm not sure if you know which one.
I was just about to mention it. That's why I love Mina Rashid. This is beautiful area. So they would quit the office, take lunch at home, and still drive back.
Yeah.
So this is a specific area where you can definitely enjoy if you need to be in close proximity to Gold Souk.
One of the very good areas. And as I think also they're trying to conserve as much as possible. Daria and Gold Souk is, if you've seen the urban master plan, Dubai 2040, they've separated in 5 different areas what they want to conserve and focus on. One of which is Bar Dubai and Daira Dubai, to be as the heritage of Dubai, to conserve the culture, for people to know what Dubai used to be, what Dubai is, and how it's made. If you see this Al Seef Mall, which is near all this Arbra section,
the British and US consulates there as well. Embassy,
exactly.
sorry.
Where all these embassies are there. So Al Seef is one of the most important points of Dubai's culture.
They have a barbecue fish restaurant there. It's really good. Barbecue fish. You want to go?
If I give you money and I trust you and you are my agent, and I tell you, look, I don't want to appreciate. I don't want I want you to invest it in somewhere safe. Would you pick ready versus off plan? And where, which area, which emirate, or which project, like villa, apartment? You know, like, give me your maybe top 3 options that you would confidently do it if it was your money and you knew this is the place to put it today.
I would suggest based on availability, or if you're more interested in off plan, or based on options if you're more interested in secondary, I would honestly suggest more towards the south of Dubai, anything between Palm Jumeirah, Palm Jebel Ali. There's a lot of development, there's a lot of movement happening there. Plus, it's closer to Abu Dhabi.
Why there?
Why there? They are, so again, coming back to the 2040 urban master plan. That is one of the major points of focus of the UAE government, not only Dubai government. The entire UAE is trying to focus in that area. Obviously, there are very good developments as well in other areas. I'm not saying this is the only area which is good. Abu Dhabi has amazing developments. Ras Al Khaimah, I personally love that a lot. But southern side of Dubai, right now, lower entry points. You have more options. You have future stability, and you have a major infrastructure that's
Nitesh,
coming.
this is my money. What are you buying? 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, townhouse today?
Townhouse or villa, definitely way above apartments. The scarcity of townhouses and villas is more, the demand for it is more, and the capital appreciation lies a lot more. Obviously, this is just a vague discussion, right? Because it all depends on the buyer's strategy. Is he buying for long term? Is he buying for himself?
Just to be sure that the money will increase and the property will appreciate in its value.
Townhouse or villa, definitely.
Southern part of Dubai.
Southern part of Dubai. Yes.
Gated community?
Gated community is always much better. It gives more security, more safety to the kids. It's more pet friendly. It has more amenities as a community.
How much money you need to buy something like this?
Anywhere between 3.5 million to 20 million. I would also consider Oasis.
All up front, or are you still talking about off plan?
We're still talking about off plan. Obviously, there are many developments that are already handed over, like in Al Furjan. It could be from 4.5 million to Jabal Ali village, for example. We were just talking about this earlier today, right? 9.5, 10, 12 million. It's all great value for money that you're getting in that area. And if you compare it, the plot sizes are bigger, the built-up areas are bigger in certain developments because the price per square foot is more accessible to buyers.
Okay.
End users and investors. Both, I think, great value for money.
Like it cannot go wrong, yeah?
It can't go wrong.
Ryan, where are you putting?
If you're looking sub 5 million, I would definitely look at an area around Nad Al Shiba. Okay, because there's a lot of growth to come around this whole Nad Al Shiba area. The Sheikh's Palace is around the corner. DIFC 2.0 is coming there. Creek Harbour is expanding. That will be something incredible. So that's something in the next kind of 1 to 2 year period. And there's new phases coming up there. If you're looking at something a little bit more medium term, I would definitely say areas towards Dubai South, where we've got something like Bain by Aura, incredible project, incredible offering, very competitive price per square foot entry for waterfront. I'm a strong believer in waterfront because you can't keep on emulating waterfront property, depending on its location, of course. You got Jebel Ali Beach coming there, you got Palm Jumeirah. There is a lot of flow of government capital and FDI coming into these areas, so you know that you will be in a favorable position later. And then if we're looking on the higher ultra luxury end, I would definitely be suggesting something like Ramhan in Abu Dhabi. I would also suggest something like Jubail. I would also suggest something like Mira Hills because they've got a very exclusive concept there. So these are a mix of villa and townhouse communities that all have a very competitive price per square foot entry. What we've realized is that you need larger amounts of capital to make more significant returns in this mature market. It's not like 5 years ago where you could put down $1 million dirham and make 100%, or like Dubai Hills in 2019, obviously launched in 2013. It's a 17, 19 year kind of master plan. People there have made 100%. Times are very different now, and you do need a lot more capital, but there's a lot more leverage that's available in the market as well. A lot more bridging loan type systems as well that can be implemented. You can release equity from other property. So it's about entry and exit, diversification, and short, medium, and long-term investment plays where we can move capital in and out and pull leverage out of. I'm seeing a lot of value in the luxury, ultra luxury segment, even from secondary perspective, because some owners are asking 20-30% lower. But in the off-plan segment, there's some developments, as mentioned, where we're coming in 1,200 to 1,800 dirham per square foot on the plot, which is exceptional value for 20, 25, 30,000 square foot plot. And back to the comment, land is where the value is, because you can't keep replicating land. Back to branded residences, I would definitely suggest something like Akala by Arada. Very, very big fan of what they're doing. I would love to buy property there myself. I believe in it that much because it's a pioneer of wellness and branded focused residences in DIFC, government-backed developer, Al Shamsi from Sharjah. So a lot of confidence with Arada as well.
I strongly believe, sorry, I know it's your
Yeah, if it comes to Ras Al Khaimah, also waterfront villa communities, if you want to enter Marjan Island, and of course it's priority number one, because if someone wants to buy Ras Al Khaimah and buy because of the casino, Marjan would be number one, then Al Hamra and Sinia Island is the other side, which is Al Kuwain, but it's only 10 minutes away and you can see Win Casino as clear as the day from Sinia Island as well. Though it's a longer, that's a project that is gonna take longer to shape and form. And then we have Mina Al Arab and we have Mayrid, and that's all Ras Al Khaimah freehold. Ras Al Khaimah is finished, but definitely we have incredible product in waterfront villas, which still have post-handover payment plan, and it's ready.
Really? Wow.
So it's just in front of Win, and it's in the middle of established community with school and mall and golf club, and there are 5-star hotels. So that's something to consider both for investors and end users, even though we see now the prices have corrected and a lot of people are coming into the market because since this regional conflict started, also everyone was expecting that the market will crash. It did not happen, but there is price correction. I would say that Falcon Island, the one I'm talking about now, the prices are now at the point of the last year. However, this project was launched 3 years ago at 750 dirham per square foot.
Really? Wow.
Waterfront villas,
Wow.
with private beach and everything. And now it's currently trading at 1,300 per square foot.
Okay.
So once again, people made 200% profit, but now it corrected 20-30%. So if last year you didn't have a chance to enter this amazing project, now is the time, and that's what we see now. A lot of end users are buying because it's sufficient for golden visa, and I see a lot of other Emirates are migrating to Ras Al Khaimah. I personally moved 2 families from Alain who finally bought their home, and they're gonna live on Falcon Island. A lot of people from Dubai are selling, the Mac Hills 2 and buying villa on Falcon because it's the same kind of
distance with the infrastructure.
Money, sizes are bigger, but you are upgrading your lifestyle because you're no longer 30 minutes from the downtown. You are in front of the water, like at the front line of whatever is happening. And then coming back to Marjan, which is number one priority for majority of people who pick Ras Al Khaimah, who learned about Ras Al Khaimah because of Win and because of whatever is going to happen there in the span of the next 5, 7, 10 years. By now, find yourself super amazing deal because not everyone is selling, and there were distresses. They existed before the war. They exist now. Buyers are able to negotiate themselves amazing deals. I'm not promoting that, of course, but I'm just saying that that's where I specialize. And if there is 2,000 units in a project, of course you will find, like we mentioned, less than 5% people would be selling for different reasons. So grab these opportunities because soon enough you won't be able to find any. Always choose government-backed developers. We have Aldar, we have Emar, we have other wonderful developers who have strong record and they provide proper construction reports. Because see, we have in Dubai Rest app. In Ras Al Khaimah, we don't. So often we are struggling to find actual construction report for certain developer because they are not providing them, and there is no entity where you could check it. So yeah, there are a couple of others.
I was under the impression you can request a report from the developer or the municipality itself. by paying a minimal fee of.
It should be publicly available information, to be honest.
It should be.
Like, let's say Aldar is posting their construction progress on YouTube. They're making video and saying, okay, today our project is at 15% of construction. Here is video, like you can see what's happening. Not everyone does that, and I wish there were more people who were doing that.
Well, even when you see what's happening with regulation in Abu Dhabi, and it's becoming the forefront of how real estate is moving forward, the future of real estate, we're seeing that payment. So when you submit your SPA, you have to give post-dated checks as well, and the post-dated checks are held. And they're not released into the escrow until someone from the municipality has physically gone and seen the construction progress in the project. So 10%, 20%, 30%.
Don't they just take IBAN? They need post-dated checks
They
in
need
Abu Dhabi?
PDC checks.
Because Aldar, Abu Dhabi developer, that is in Ras Al Khaimah, they don't ask for PDC.
No, it's
IBAN
different.
is just enough.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is something related to Abu Dhabi itself, that they require post-dated checks?
Modern is the only developer who does that.
Okay.
In Abu Dhabi?
In Abu Dhabi.
Really? I'm sure other developers are doing it now
because
as well.
Aldar is not doing it for Ras Al Khaimah.
There are
for the escrow, and the ADM has said that in Abu Dhabi that
if developers are doing it is more on personal, but not because of a regulation from the government. That's the impression I have. For example, in Dubai as well, Samana does that. Especially for resident investors who are taking the 0.5% or the 1% payment plan per month, right? So Samana used to do that I think a couple of years ago, but it's not. I don't think it comes from a regulation where all the developers are bound to do that.
A lot of them have started to implement it though, because they want to install that confidence in the investor that actually we're not going to just take your money and sit on it and then recycle that capital into some other project or some other launch. We're actually going to build this project, we're going to deliver, we're going to show you what we're doing, and we're going to make sure that our investors are benefiting from every incremental increase in appreciation that they have in the new launches. So it's a really great method of making sure that their buyers are protected in that way.
When you mentioned about being more confident about just the government-backed developers, obviously that's one of the safest investments that you can do. But also, there are other developers who are very well backed, and if they're not very well backed, or if you don't know much about them, it's very important when the broker is dealing, for the broker to have the knowledge to be able to give it to the buyers, right? For example, I recently discovered there's one specific developer. I'm going to ask you guys if because I didn't know it up until a few months ago. I just learned that, so I'm going to ask you if you guys know about it. Did you guys know there's a developer who gives in writing in his SPA that even though RERA gives them 1 year of grace period, if they delay, they give you a 5% per annum return back?
Oh wow!
On the price.
That's nice.
So if you purchase at $1 million, but they delay on the delivery date from what they promised, not with the grace period, they give you, if they delay 4 months, they give you 1% back. So it's 5% in the entire year divided on how many ever months they delay on. So, and this developer is not backed by any government. It's just a developer who is really confident about their progress. They've been delivering on time. They have amazing developments already done and still ongoing. Do you know which?
They sold out their most recent launch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imtiaz.
Yeah.
Quite impressed with their finishing and what they're doing. I've got to say, it's like this kind of market now where you've got people at the top, you've got people here who are trying to come up, and there's so much innovation that's happening on different levels because they want to have the best product. They want to have clients, buying with them for years and years. They want to come up with this new AI focused community where water systems are, cleaned in a certain way, and there's X amount of greenery, population density is less. There's Gaff Woods, there's Mira Hills. Mira Hills, I was there yesterday.
I think have like 10 minutes left before you have to go.
Exactly.
And we still speak about real estate.
Okay, now it's just personal questions.
I want to ask, what you guys, because you live in Dubai. I just moved from Dubai 2 years ago to go to Ras Al Khaimah, but that's not my final destination. I can decide what to do with my life anytime.
Where's your final destination?
What do you think? Dubai is more affordable now in terms of rent? Like what happened to rental market? A lot of people started to move to the outskirts simply because they didn't want to be near to the water. On contrary, some people from desert, more further places which would be close to a military base, moved closer to the beach. There are different priorities and everything. But in general, rental market became more affordable in Dubai. What do you think?
I believe it's very based on location wise. Certain locations have had that hit and have become much more affordable.
Where do you specialize? In which area?
Arabian ranches mostly.
Perfect. Let's speak about Arabian ranches. What happened to the prices for sale and for rental? Like what's going
rental
on?
prices, there has been changes in it. If vaguely around 20%. There's a drop of around 20%. Also, given the fact that it's summer and it always gets affected slightly. But in terms of sale prices, what I've seen and what my team has seen is mostly all the sellers are resisting as much as possible, except for probably 2-3 underpriced sales that we've seen in the market. So there's not much of a movement in sales.
So it's taking longer to negotiate. There is a lot of resistance.
It's taking a lot more longer.
Offers are lower than.
Offers are coming in very low.
Do you still put the same effort on pushing those deals through? I mean, how is it? Like, what do you think, and how long you think it's gonna take to somehow recover or to understand where are we going? Because I believe we spoke about it briefly that's not going to be fixed overnight, right? And of course, everything will depend in general what is the global situation. But what are we looking at now? We're August, let's say. By when?
At least 6 months as a kind of minimum. In the area that I mainly have a lot of my business in, downtown, Meydan, Creek Harbour, even towards DIFC, Jumeirah Bay, this whole stretch. There are some buildings in downtown that have taken a huge hit, and it's all about supply and demand, the fundamentals. Again, we're seeing that across Dubai as well, where there's areas where there's an oversupply of units, and we've seen rental prices especially start to close 5 to 15, 20% lower than what the listing price is. But there's a period of time where that opportunity expires.
Same like was during COVID, right?
Exactly. And what we're seeing now is that a lot of that stock that's there, we could say 5%, 7% is starting to be absorbed. And then the supply is starting to become more constrained again. From a sales perspective, I've not seen hundreds of distress deals, but I have seen deals that are below market. So naturally, again, 5-7%, you'll see maybe even less than that. It's truly a good deal. But it's not a big variance. When you add your 6.5% on, you're nearly at the market price anyway. So is it a good deal or is it not a good deal? Depends on your strategy. What's really great to see is areas like City Walk, for example, have performed exceptionally because supply is constrained. There's not really been any movement in the older buildings anyway, because they've been able to control what's happening there. So it shows you a lot about, as a investor or someone who is operational in this market, where should you place your focus? What should you look at as the most important things in making your decision? Of course, location. Which series do you have? Which floor plan do you have? How many of them are in the building? In address sky views, prices have not really changed there too much, because there's a certain amount of, this series, 05 series, 08 series, whatever. So if you've got a good unit and you pick the right thing and you do the due diligence, yes, you might pay a little bit more at the start, but it will pay you many dividends for years to come later, because the market doesn't always go up. It will correct and it will go down as well. So that's overall, what I've experienced.
What do you feel of Ras Al Khaimah in terms of the rental market?
I have some exclusive clients who I'm handling since a couple of years, since the time I came there. I would say that they are very understanding, and some people actually left, while the other people who had to move out of certain areas because they couldn't afford it, because the price was hyping up for the past 2 years. Now they're coming back because they can afford it again. But we are dealing with quite large number of empty units now, which is slowly getting filled. I will give you a live example. 3-bedroom villa last year rented 1 check, 140. This year, 125, 2 checks. And he accepted it because, not everyone is willing to just lock the property and keep it empty. For some, especially if your property is mortgaged, you want to keep generating income and whatever it is. We are in summer, which is the low season for rentals, I would say. And everyone knows in UAE, always in summer, you can negotiate the best rates because there are not that many people and supply is higher. So there is a correction in price. But again, we are not back down to 2 years or 1 year and a half where Ras Al Khaimah was. Again, maybe we had an increase of 80% already from what happened since casino was announced and since people started actively moving to that area from other Emirates and internationally. So now it had corrected, 15%? Everyone can sustain that. And it's just great. It's just great. Like, let's say if you are renting 2-bedroom and you wanted to upgrade to 3-bedroom, now you can do it at the same, at the same price.
That's exactly many of the tenants in Dubai have seen as well.
Yeah.
People who were living afford a 2-bedroom or even a compact 3-bedroom.
I was thinking to get 2-bedroom as well.
Exactly.
160, you can get 2-bedroom.
She might have one.
Huh?
She might have one.
No, it's going to be in a dress again.
Thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to connect mind to mind with specialists in Dubai real estate in different areas. I've learned a lot of new things about you today.